Good morning again from sunny Malta, and today I've teamed up again with Seletto Travel, and Dennis, our travel guide, again is going to be taking us around Valletta and the three cities of Senglea, Vittoriosa and Cospicua. And then after that we're also going to check out the Hypogeum, which is a prehistoric Neolithic temple. So a very exciting day ahead of us. My dad's with me, so we're going to have a lot of fun today. I'm looking forward to showing you the three cities. Let's go. And our first stop is in Senglea, which is one of the cities. We just had a really comprehensive history lesson about how all these fortifications actually occurred all over Malta and all over the three cities, because one thing that you really will notice in Malta is it just appears like a military fort, like an old fort which has been under attack, and that's because it has, and we've learned all about that from Dennis, and that has been really, really helpful. Massive benefit of having a private tour. But anyway, we're gonna go back into the van and check out the next stop. And we've just been dropped off outside of Vittoriosa, which is another of the cities here in Malta. Now, Vittoriosa actually got its name after the Great Siege, and they were victorious, and that is how the name Vittoriosa came about. And Cospicua, that city, got its name because it was conspicuous within the Great Siege. So they all kind of got their names because of that event that the Maltese won against the Turks. Now, you will notice a lot of the buildings throughout Vittoriosa and the three cities are newly built post the war. And that is because, of course, these three cities are right next to the dockyard. And in World War II, they were heavily bombed. It was, of course, a big target for the Germans. And many of these buildings, you will notice, are very, very new. Now, you'll notice Maltese people take much pride in their doors, and it is really one thing to do when you're in Malta and Valletta and the three cities, is just admire a lot of the front doors. But you'll also notice in front of the doors there are these gates that were installed. And the reason for these gates is because back in the day when they didn't have fridges, the shepherds would come through the cities with their herd of goats, and people that wanted to request milk, they would milk the goat there and then in front of the door. But of course, goats would eat anything and would destroy these doors. So that is why they installed these gates. One thing you just absolutely have to do in these cities is just wander through the residential areas and just admire the streets and how beautiful these doors are. Like, these guys do front doors properly. It is wonderful. Everything's so old and it feels like you're walking back in time. So we are in the creek at Vittoriosa just before we jump back in the minivan to go over to the Hypogeum, which we're all very, very excited about because it's very, very difficult to get tickets there. Prehistoric Neolithic temple underground, which is very, very exciting. So we're gonna head back in the minivan and go do that. And we have made it to the Hypogeum, which is just there, which is the Neolithic temple. Super excited about that. And there we have it. That was the Hypogeum, which was incredibly fascinating. A 1-hour tour with an audio guide. It is crazy to think that 5,000 years ago that was built under the ground, and it has withstood so much different atrocities that have taken place. It was actually used as a bomb shelter in World War II as well. And of course the earthquakes and everything else that has taken place in Malta. So it is crazy that it is still intact. There's been a lot of work redone to it, of course, to restore it to its old state, but it is absolutely a must visit on your trip to Malta. But yeah, it's definitely something to do. Book your tickets in advance though, and do not be disappointed. And we are back in Vittoriosa because we're going to take the very authentic boat across from Vittoriosa to Valletta. So cheeky little boat tour, which is going to be super fun. There's one of them there. This is what they look like. They're super cool. Although hopefully, with it being so small and him being so big, it doesn't capsize. Whoa!
Take your time.
And there we are. So there are two ways of getting across the river. It's on one of the ferries or this more authentic boat, which is known as a Diza Talpas. And there are only actually two gentlemen that still know how to make these boats still alive. So dying breed, get on one while you still can, I guess. But it's a very lovely experience and a lovely way of getting across the water. And it's included within the tour. So massive thumbs up to that. And that is the risk you run. And unfortunately, there is a cruise ship which is obscuring our view of Valletta. Annoying. Yeah, very annoying. But if you are polite, our lovely guide has allowed us to wait just for this cruise liner to disappear and stop obscuring the view of Valletta. So this is such a cool experience and an absolute must when you visit Malta. It is so lovely just being out on the water on one of these boats, and it's just a really great experience. You've just got to do it. And there we go. That was a lot of fun, absolute must. And if you don't do this tour with Saletto Travel, it only costs €2 to get across the water. So you can come and do this yourself. Or if you want to do a full harbour tour on one of these boats, it is €8. So it's not expensive at all, and it is definitely worth it to see Malta from the sea. And from the other side in Valletta, you can actually see the complex of buildings which actually used to be all the hospitals throughout history, throughout the Crimea War, the First World War, and also the Second World War. And you can also see the lift where the bodies were taken from the naval casualties on the water, brought up into the hospital, and of course treated in there. Now they're used, I believe, as an art building. So the story behind the ciphers being removed was of a Maltese gentleman, which was a French supporter. He believed that Napoleon had more of an impact on the culture here, and therefore he proposed that the monarchy's symbols on the mailboxes were removed. He was, of course, successful in some circumstances, such as that one, but a lot of them are still there. And, of course, a constant reminder of the British colonialism. Wow, they actually work. Great photo op. Great photo spot. And also, this is a great photo spot. This is just straight through Victoria Gate, which is one of the formal entrances of Valletta. This is lovely around here. Absolutely beautiful. Jazz bar every Friday. All of these streets around here are so charming and make for a great photo opportunity. There's also a lovely cafe there if you want to grab a drink, just, you know. And if you're wondering where we are, this is just right at the entrance of Victoria Gate at Valletta. It's a lovely place to just grab a drink there at that cafe and look over at the other three cities. So this is St. John's Co-Cathedral, which was built in 1571, and it is quite unassuming from the outside, but that is where it gets you, because as soon as you go inside, you see how absolutely stunning it is. And I can't wait to do exactly that, because that is what we are about to do. So off we go. Pretty spectacular view from the balcony in the cathedral. Look at that. Unbelievable. So ornate. And it's definitely giving the churches and cathedrals in Rome and Venice a run for their money. Yeah. It's also incredible to see how the paintings in this cathedral, there's so much attention to detail. Like, the painter has actually painted the shadows of people, so it appears that the paintings and the people are actually in 3D. It's actually incredible to see. And that was St. John's Co-Cathedral. We have also just said goodbye to Dennis from Saletto Travel. If you guys have enjoyed that city tour today with Dennis and Saletto Travel, obviously the link to book tickets for that is going to be in the description below, so you guys can go and join that half-day city tour. But now I'm pretty hungry. We're gonna go over to Cordina Caffe. And here we are at Cordina Caffe, and I've picked up two of the most authentic foods to try here in Malta. I've got 2 pastizzis, which are basically pastries, and the most authentic versions are either filled with ricotta cheese or mushy peas. So this is the ricotta cheese pastizzi. Flaky pastry, very, very flaky. And there you have it. That's what you get inside, the ricotta cheese and the pastry. Really good. Pea pastizzi. See how this tastes. Okay, it is literally mushy peas. For everybody watching this that maybe isn't from Britain and doesn't know, mushy peas is very, very British. We absolutely love it in the UK. We obviously have it with fish and chips. These guys in Malta have it in their pastizzi. So, that's actually really good. My only criticism of Caffe Cordina is do not expect quick service. You will have to hound them for service and to order what you want, but they really take their time. And I got a very beautifully presented octopus salad. Never seen an octopus salad looking like that before. So this octopus salad is absolutely delicious. It's served in this pecorino cheese basket, which has been baked. Oh, it's so, so good. It literally tastes like cheese and onion crisps at the bottom with this beautiful meaty octopus salad. So good, so refreshing. I love this cafe. I think it's amazing. I think it's really nice to just sit here with a drink, grab a salad, grab some pastizzi, people watch, do a little bit of sunbathing, look at the pigeons ruining everybody's meal. Yeah, definitely a good call. And we are back in the room. I think for the rest of the afternoon, we're just gonna chill out on the rooftop at the pool, have a cocktail maybe for the rest of the afternoon just to chill out, and then go for dinner later this evening, because I think we've deserved it. I think we've got a lot done over this last 2 days. The full day tour of Malta with Soletto Travel yesterday, and also, guys, both of these tours, they're gonna be linked in the description. So if you want to book both of the tours, which have been amazing, I can highly recommend them in terms of hitting so many spots, seeing so many sites in Malta that you must see in such a short period of time. And it just kind of gives you that insight as to places that you'll want to revisit later and maybe spend more time. So one of those places for me would be Cordina. I absolutely loved it there, and it was fantastic to just get a glimpse of it with Dennis, learn a bit of the history, and then for me to know that that's somewhere that I want to return to. So big yes, big thumbs up from me for Soletto Travel and for the tour with Dennis. But now we're just gonna hang out on the rooftop, just chill out there, and then we're gonna go for dinner later. So yesterday we ate at a super traditional indoor restaurant, which is super romantic. But tonight we've chosen a super cool outdoor restaurant on a beautiful terrace. This restaurant is called Rampila, recommended by the Telegraph and the Michelin Guide. And you've got 2 options. You can either eat inside, which was an old military tunnel, which is super cool, or you can eat outside on this terrace, which is really, really beautiful out here. It's got a really nice ambience, especially when it's sort of light in the evening still. And you've also got a good view of the city gate, which is the entrance of that. And if you want, next door, connected to the restaurant, there is also a place for you to go for a drink. And it also gives you a sort of look at Victorian Valletta, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what the food is like. So we are having a very traditional Maltese dinner tonight. We're starting with the aliotta soup, which is a traditional fish soup, which is normally eaten during Lent when meat is forbidden. And they actually use the whole fish. They use the tail and the head to create that lovely, delicious, fishy flavor. And it's good. I'm enjoying it. What do you think?
Where's the fish?
Where's the fish?
Yeah.
No, I think it's cooked with the head and the tail to create the flavour.
Oh, right.
And then it's like a...
Okay.
It normally uses rockfish. That's what they use. So I've ordered the rabbit, the Maltese rabbit. Very, very traditional. You can't come to Malta and not try this. It's a must. And actually, this is a really, really delicious rabbit. Usually, I'm not the biggest fan of rabbit just because it's a little bit on the tougher side. But this is really good. I'd liken it to chicken, to be honest. Sauce is good, comes with vegetables. Good call. And I am back at the hotel now, and that is me signing out for this video. So if you have enjoyed it, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel and press the bell button so you get notified every time I post new videos. Also check out the rest of the Malta series here, but that's it, I'm signing out and I'll see you in the next one.